여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon So-hwa and this is K-Culture Dive. Join us in taking a deep dive into the heart of Korean culture. From K-entertainment to AI news, on-field reports, and today, a look at the latest Korean blockbuster Hope and other K-film issues. And with that, let's dive in. Joining us today on the show is Walter Lee. Walter, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Soa, and hello to everyone joining us on K-Culture Dive today. I'm Walter Lee, here to co-host and bring you the latest in K-entertainment stories.
All right, Walter, let's start off with the amazing run CORTIS are having with their latest album, Green Green.
Yes, we have been keeping a close eye on them. So according to the latest weekly album chart by Circle Chart, Korea's national music chart system that tracks sales and streaming, CORTIS' second mini album, Green Green, has now surpassed 3 million cumulative copies in sales in just 11 weeks after its debut on May 4th. Anyone would like to know, that's my birthday. I like the color blue and looking for new ties. With this achievement, the album has become the second triple million seller released in South Korea this year, following BTS's fifth full-length album, Arirang. Now, CORTIS' lead track off the Green Green album, Red Red, continues to rank among the top songs on major Korean music streaming platforms, such as one of the biggest ones, Melon. In other CORTIS news, the boys will embark on their Put Your Phone Down tour from August 4th to 16th, starting here in Korea, then performing in 6 cities in North America, including Toronto and San Francisco. Later dates for countries such as Japan are yet to be announced.
So, Walter, would you like a green tie or a red tie?
Surprise me, maybe a Christmas-themed tie.
But your birthday is in May, so why
That's true,
Christmas?
that's true,
Okay,
yes.
Well, I'll think about that. But Walter, let's move on to another group. Now, this group could be taking K-pop in another direction with a very unique style, I have to say.
Yes, I agree with you there, Soa. So, alternative K-pop collective Bombing Tiger, in their second full-length album, Gongbu, which means study in Korean, has ranked number 2 on Billboard's list of the best K-pop albums of the first half of 2026. What an achievement. Now, released in May, maybe around my birthday again, Gongbu is the concept album set in a fictional research institute called Gongbu Korea, weaving together a narrative that explores human dreams and subconscious. So the album had previously been named one of NPR's best albums of the first half of 2026 and has now earned further acclaim from Billboard. Now, Billboard praised the album for placing Korean sensibilities at its core while boldly traversing genres including folk, alternative pop, funk, rock, dance pop, and hip hop. And as you just saw, it was very different from the usual K-pop we see.
Right, but there is also a connection to one of the usual K-pop groups that we know, because Bombing Tiger actually had a collaboration with BTS's RM before with sexy 느낌 or feel, you would say. So yes, that might be something for starters.
Yep.
But last but not least, Walter, let's talk about a Korean film that's getting attention from international film festivals.
Yes, it's great to report on another film that seems to be grabbing the global attention. So the journey to Gyeongju or Gyeongju Gihang has been building anticipation even before its domestic release, earning invitations to a string of prestigious international film festivals. Now, the journey to Gyeongju is about a family revenge thriller and also black comedy, directed by up-and-coming director Kim Mi-jo, and has star names like Lee Jong-un, probably best known internationally for her role in director Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, Park So-dam, another talented actress who also worked on Parasite, and the multifaceted Gong Hyo-jin, known for many roles in TV and film. Now, the film made its world premiere at the 45th Annual Hawaii International Film Festival, where it received high praise. It later won the Audience Award at the 24th Florence Korea Film Fest, where critics and local audiences applauded its fresh take on the revenge genre. Now, the film was also invited to the 30th Fantasia International Film Festival, North America's largest genre film festival, and has also been invited to the 6th Korean Film Festival Barcelona. Now, as for its domestic release, that is set for August 26th.
I am really looking forward to this film, and thank you very much, Walter, for those updates.
No worries.
All right, now time for our AI anchor Arang for more on the culture front. Arang.
Thanks, Swa. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. The UNESCO World Heritage Committee has adopted a resolution urging Japan to better acknowledge the history of Korean forced labor at the Sato gold mine, saying Tokyo has failed to fulfill commitments made when the site was inscribed as a World Heritage Site. The resolution was adopted at the committee's 48th session, now underway in Busan. It also called on Japan to more clearly explain how its interpretation, exhibition strategy, and related facilities present the mine's full history, and to provide regular progress updates. Japan must submit an implementation report by December 2027 for review at the committee's 50th session the following year. Culture Minister Chu Hyung says the rapid shift in content production driven by artificial intelligence should become a new growth opportunity for K-content. The remarks came during a meeting with industry leaders on Thursday on ways to boost the global competitiveness of K-content in the AI era. Attendees highlighted the financial burden of AI adoption, calling for targeted investment and financial support in the form of vouchers for young creators and AI ventures. They also urged the government to fast-track the establishment of an AI ecosystem to strengthen the industry's AI capabilities, calling AI a new opportunity that gives wings to creators' imagination. Chu pledged support to help turn that imagination into reality. The 13th Asia Cruise Forum opened on Jeju Island on Thursday, drawing some 700 cruise industry officials from 15 countries. Under the theme, Asia Cruise 4.0, Beyond Boundaries, Connected as One, participants are discussing ways to strengthen regional cooperation and drive the sustainable growth of Asia's cruise industry. Jeju unveiled its vision of becoming Northeast Asia's cruise hub by establishing regular cruise homeboard operations and expanding related infrastructure to capture the region's fast-growing cruise market. Cruise calls to Jeju surged from 71 in 2023 to 274 in 2024, before rising further to 321 last year. The three-day forum wraps up Saturday. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
We've been taking you inside the 48th session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee in the southern city of Busan with experts who have helped us better understand the value of World Heritage. But beyond the committee meetings, the city is also celebrating Korea's living traditions through a special Intangible Cultural Heritage Festival where visitors can experience performances, exhibitions, and hands-on programs inspired by Korea's rich cultural legacy. Our culture correspondent Jo Young-in has more from Busan.
Traditional Korean vocal music comes alive through contemporary stage language. The performers say Intangible Heritage is sustained not only by preserving its music and techniques, but also by passing on its values and spirit from one generation to the next.
To ensure these traditions are carried on by future generations, understanding of their original forms must be developed first. At the same time, they also need the artistic vision to engage and communicate with today's audiences.
One of the highlights is a performance inspired by the elegant lines of Korea's traditional craftsmanship, where dancers transform the making of the traditional kat into the visual language of movements. The creative team says they sought to preserve the tradition without making it feel like something of the past. They aim to create a performance that audiences can embrace naturally.
Intangible heritage carries a quiet beauty and a profound sense of dignity. It is neither flashy nor exaggerated, yet the longer you experience it, the more deeply it stays with you. I hope audiences will remember it not only for its beauty, but also for the significance and weight it carries.
Each performance has been reinterpreted through newly arranged music and choreography, showing that intangible heritage continues to evolve through time and new artistic influences.
The lion dance is known for its sweeping mane and dynamic movements. With newly arranged music, we redesigned the choreography and stage movements while ensuring they remain true to tradition.
Structured around 7 interconnected themes and featuring master artisans from across Korea, every artistic decision was guided by one principle: preserving the essence of intangible heritage while expressing it in a modern way.
Our main goal was to reinterpret intangible heritage in a contemporary way while fully preserving the beauty of its essence. We also worked to create a modern visual language through the lighting and stage design.
The spirit of UNESCO comes alive through the shared values of harmony and coexistence. Running through July 29, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Festival showcases the artistic value of Korean heritage and its potential to inspire people today. 조영은, 아리랑 뉴스, 부산.
Lunar New Year, Chuseok. They're holidays every Korean grows up with. But there was once a widely celebrated summer festival, one that has all but faded from memory. It was called Yudu, or water greeting, a day when washing your hair was believed to wash away misfortune. How did washing your hair become the heart of a centuries-old summer festival? Celebrated on the 15th day of the 6th lunar month, during the peak of summer, Yudu was a day when people sought out clear streams and mountain valleys to wash their hair and bathe in flowing water. They believed the current carried away not only the summer heat, but also the worries and bad fortune of the past year. The name Yudu comes from an old expression meaning to wash one's head in water flowing eastward. In parts of Korea's Gyeongsang region, the custom is still remembered as 물맞이, or greeting the water. The tradition is believed to date back to the Shilla kingdom. A record in the Kimgosa collection, written by the Koryo scholar Kim Guk-gi, describes people washing in flowing water to drive away misfortune before gathering to eat, drink, and celebrate. Yudu is regarded as a uniquely Korean summer festival, with few parallels elsewhere in the world. And the celebration didn't end at the water's edge. Families offered the season's first grains and fruits to their ancestors in a ritual known as Yudu Cheonshin. People also shared Yudumyeon, a seasonal noodle dish, and wore or hung colorful bead-shaped ornaments on their doorways as charms for good fortune and protection. Over the centuries, Yudu gradually faded away. As washing became an everyday routine rather than a sacred ritual, the festival quietly slipped into history. But perhaps it never truly disappeared. Every summer, we still seek out cool valleys and flowing streams. We still find comfort in the sound of running water and the feeling of washing away the heat. The name may have been forgotten, but the wish behind it remains: to leave yesterday's burdens behind and step into summer with a lighter heart.
Director Na Hong-jin won the Action Cinema Award at the New York Asian Film Festival for his latest film, Hope. While domestically, the film is continuing the fastest box office momentum of the year. Today, we'll take an in-depth look at the sci-fi action thriller and also discuss the outlook for the Korean film industry in the second half of the year. And we're going to do that with Jae Soo, filmmaker and professor at Seoul Institute of the Arts. So welcome back, Professor Soo.
Hello, Professor.
Nice to be back.
All right, so let's talk about Hope. So you watched the movie, and that means we are one of the 2.64 million audiences that did so, and that's just a little over a week after its release. There were some divided opinions regarding it. So what did you think of the film, and what did you think of the mixed responses?
I actually watched it on opening night in a packed movie theater. So my initial reaction was exhilaration and then confusion, followed by it. But I felt like the movie was more like an amusement park, like a roller coaster ride, because I think the best part of the movie is the first hour, where we have a fantastic cast of Hwang Jung-min, who plays a police chief in a sleepy town, a fishing town called Hope. And there are a series of like animal mutilations and murders, and so he's investigating that with his sidekick, Jung Ho-yeon from Squid Game, and then Jo In-sung, who plays his cousin Hunter in the movie. But I think what's really interesting is, you could see the creature in the trailer right now, but in the movie, it's about an hour into the movie when they first show you the creature, and I remember the audience was screaming at that point. So it's something like I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Wailing, which the director Na Hong-jin did before this movie. It was 10 years ago, but he didn't fail to sort of live up to his reputation of always sort of subverting the story a little bit from expectation. So I think, as you said, some people love it. It's kind of a weird story because it doesn't really follow the natural sort of genre-istic things about sci-fi or creature movies, but definitely is kind of a new kind of movie, and globally right now with a reaction from Cannes and things like that, people seem to be really embracing it.
Right, and I have to mention, maybe I'm going to watch it again because for me, I liked the second half of it actually better than the first half, and maybe it changes after we watch it one more time because I was a little confused as well right after watching it.
Right.
Aside from the confusion, it has been the most anticipated K film of the second half of this year. What do you think really built that anticipation up for the audiences?
Well, I think a couple of reasons. One is it's been 10 years since Na Hong-jin's Wailing, so people are kind of expecting his next movie, what that's about. And then just the sheer size and scope of the movie. It's the biggest Korean budget movie. I think it's around over 50 billion won, which is around $35 million. So it's a movie that's like really geared towards like a global audience more than just domestic. And I think the other sort of thing about it was the fact that it had an international cast, Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, and then the reaction from Cannes. So all these kind of elements kind of came together with the help of social media. And I think the anticipation for the movie was really great. I just remember watching YouTube videos of people just talking about the trailer.
Right. And Professor So, Hope is a science fiction action film that is set in a Korean fishing village in the 1970s or 80s. So, but we have that gigantic creature appearing there. So we've got on the one side the familiar Korean scenery, and then on the other side the Hollywood-style spectacle. What did you make of this?
Well, that's actually its charm. The fact that it's got this kind of high feel of like a big budget movie, but it's set in a very sleepy Korean town, near the North Korean border, and I think it's a very textured looking town. The movie's set, I think in the 70s or the 80s. It was before, mobile phones. It doesn't really appear in the movie. So it's sort of like old Korea, but with this kind of like high-tech sort of thing happening with a sci-fi element in it. That's the contrast that really sort of did it. And I think, there's a word I used to like, back in the day. It's called creature feature. It was actually a thing that they would create this like monster that everybody would be scared to watch, especially in the summer when it's kind of hot. So kind of the fear factor gets your sweat going and you feel cooler. So these elements are really cool. But as you mentioned, the CG, it's a big scale movie. So if you're expecting a real photorealistic kind of CG element of VFX from Hollywood, you might be a little disappointed because this has a different feel. I think it's an intentional thing because some of the creature things are a lot of times it doesn't really hold up to what Hollywood's doing, but I think it was an intentional aesthetic choice to do it, to make it, I think, more than just the texture of the creature itself, but the movement and the jerkiness of the thing. I just remember thinking, I haven't seen anything like this in CG for a long time.
But saying that, K films are getting more global attention, and therefore there are many international investors now investing in K films. And I guess, given the budget that it was given, it wasn't just made for our domestic audiences, given also the international actors as well. It was obviously targeted on an international scale. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, director. Professor, sorry. Sci-fi really hasn't been Korea's greatest or strongest genre when it comes to films. But does Hope give some hope to, I guess, the sci-fi genre film now, do you think?
You're right. Korean sci-fi movies haven't been, I think, maybe zombie movies are more famous in Korea, or crime movies. But I think Hope does give you hope about sort of sci-fi, but I don't really think it's kind of a hybrid movie between sci-fi and, I think you can think back to The Host, where there's a monster that comes out in that as well. So I think the way I define sci-fi isn't about technology. It's about sort of like a new world that we haven't seen yet, that you can kind of pretend in this kind of fictional world. And I think it definitely kind of establishes that. So it's a movie that I think globally it'll work because if you've already seen the movie, I'm not going to give spoilers, but basically it's about mystery, it's scary. It doesn't need a lot of explanation with reading subtitles. You're just kind of watching it like unfold in front of you. You're just watching this creature. People are chasing it. They're being chased by it. It's very simplistic in that way. And I think it goes back to maybe the silent era of filmmaking, which was really about like Keystone cops and criminals chasing each other. So it's got all these elements that kind of work. And I think the fact that it's got a sci-fi feel to it is more, I think, a style than the genre itself. And I think it's Na Hong-jin really sort of, again, subverting a lot of the familiar tropes that you see in a lot of these kind of movies. And I think, I saw Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 79%, which is pretty high score for like a creature movie. And a lot of critics are just praising this movie because they think it's so different, and it is.
Now, while the production budget for Hope exceeded 50 billion won, now we've also got mid-budget films such as The Eyes or 눈동자. They have also been performing steadily well at the box office. So let's shift to that one now, and also the general Korean film industry. Is it bouncing back?
Yeah, I mean, maybe The Eyes and Hope is sort of the signal for that happening. I went to see The Eyes as well, and I was really looking forward to it because it's a remake of a Spanish film, 2010, called Julia's Eyes, which I'm a big fan of. It didn't really live up to that original, but I think what worked about it was initially, the movie didn't do that well. There were some bad sort of criticisms about it, but slowly with the word of mouth through social media, it started to build up. I think today it's at 1.47 million box office, viewers that went to see it. So it's steadily building. And when I see it in the theaters, people are really scared of this movie. And again, Shin Mina is not really known for as a cinema actress. She's more like a television star. But her acting is definitely a plus in this movie. And just the atmosphere of the movie of having this kind of killer trying to come after her. She plays a twin, so I think the atmosphere of the movie really worked. And it's a good sign because I think a medium-sized movie of this scale, usually about a genre that maybe not be, too much of a turnout for Korean audiences, but now because word of mouth, people are saying, oh, go watch this movie, it's pretty fun. It's doing really well right now, and I think it's going to break even in terms of like how much they invested in the movie. And hopefully this is a sign that not only will a big-scale movie like Hope do well, but like a medium-sized movie will do as well, if you just have compelling storytelling, and a great cast. Yeah.
Right. It is very hard to do a remake and be successful with it, especially if it's cross-country as well. But in line with this momentum, the government has done all they can, or doing all they can, to actually revitalize the theatre market, right? Obviously, we want to go back to the theatres. Many of us do, anyway. Do you think this type of support will help sustain the recovery of the Korean film industry and theatres?
I think initially it has. I mean, my son ran up to me saying, he wanted to watch a movie, and he was inspired by the coupon. So, and the data has suggested from the Korean Film Council that on a weekly basis, about 48% of the revenue's gone up in these sort of coupon, sort of enhanced sort of viewing experience. So it's to help people lessen the load of paying for tickets, and also help the the movie industry by having a lot more box office seats happening. But this alone is not going to really help it. I mean, I think they're going to release 2.4 million more, coupons, but the government can't always hold the thing. I think it comes down to basically, again, really good, compelling storytelling, sort of a new approach to how movies are made, like Hope or The Eyes. And I think we need a new generation of Korean filmmakers. We have we have Bong Joon-ho, we have Park Chan-wook. Na Hong-jin is like sort of like a next generation of that. But I think we need to see like more directors, like the guy that did Backrooms is 20, and the guy that did Obsession in America is 26. So I want to see like 20-something Korean directors sort of making their debuts and sort of kind of changing cinema so that more audiences get turned on by sort of the alpha generation, maybe, and I think right now people have said the younger generation aren't going to see movies, but I think they're wrong. I think with enhanced internet and social media, I think the next big thing is watching movies alongside with your mobile phone.
Yeah, just quickly, so I just want to say that obviously one of the most anticipated films of the year in terms of the globe is Odyssey, and that was shot in complete IMAX cameras. It's kind of movies like that that Korea should also be looking towards, I think, in my opinion, that will bring people to the theatre.
Right. And probably next time we're going to get to talk more about also the supportive measures from the government regarding the rest of the year in the cinema world. But for now, thank you very much, Professor Soo, for your insights, and have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. Have a great weekend and see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for watching and for your interest in everything K-Culture. K-Culture Dive will be back on Monday, 2 p.m. Korea time. Have a culture-filled weekend and keep diving.